Hello, everyone, and welcome to an Affinity webinar from Roofers Coffee Shop and Cotney Consulting. My name is Heidi Ellsworth, and we are here today to talk about trade shows. We are so excited. So please, we're going to start out with some introductions. Karen Edwards, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Karen Edwards. I am the COO for Roofers Coffee Shop and the director for the Roofing Technology Think Tank. And I've been in the roofing industry 20 some years or more in marketing, been to a lot of trade shows, learned a lot of lessons, sometimes the hard way. So I'm really excited about today's webinar and helping people maximize work in these shows.
I love it. I love it. I do too. Love the trade shows. You and I are at so many of them. And talk about somebody who's at so many trade shows. John Kenney, thank you so much for being here. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, John Kenney, CEO of Cotney Consulting Group. I've been in the industry 45 plus years. It's been my life's blood. I can't think and say enough of our industry. Done everything from laboring roofing side up to running the companies, and now in the consulting side. I work with companies and training and operations and running their businesses and getting their people trained up for specialties on operations and estimating and so forth. So this is a great webinar because I've been on both sides as a contractor going for many years, and now on the consulting side, I go and present and at the educational seminar. So really some good insights. Hopefully you all get out of this today from us.
I love it. And I'm Heidi Ellsworth, and I'm the president of Roofers Coffee Shop, and really looking forward to this conversation. The chat is open. So if you have questions in the chat, please stop us anytime, comments, whatever it is. We love to have that. So let's get started. How to find roofing shows to attend. I think we get this question a lot. People are looking for the list and stuff. So Karen, what's your recommendation on how roofing companies can kind of decide which shows to attend or find them?
Well, shameless plug here, but rooferscoffeeshop.com has directories for most of the roofing associations across the country. And we'll have information about all the upcoming events. So be sure to, visit that page, check that out. Take note of what shows are when and what you might, that's the start, right? It's making your list. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? And there's a lot of different kinds of roofing shows. So if you've never done it before, my recommendation is to start small, because some of the big ones can be extremely overwhelming. And I'm going to mention, Florida and Texas, we've got them listed there, even Washington State. Some of those state specific shows are really, really valuable and rewarding. And John, you've been involved with the Florida shows for a long time, and just making the effort to attend, and you don't have to fly there, probably maybe even just go for a day to get started, but definitely talk to your associations. Most of them are the ones that host these shows. There are other shows out in the industry, but I would recommend starting with your associations, because especially if you're in a state where you have to have continuing education credits, because this is one place that you're gonna get that.
Yeah, John, you have it I love that perspective of from being a roofing contractor to now being on the other side, speaking and working at the shows. But when you were a roofing contractor, what was your decision-making policy on which shows to attend?
Well, I like to look at it, and again, nicely today, there's a lot more shows available than there used to be. A lot of the states didn't, like a NERCA, and then they came in the 70s, and they've been around for a long time, but there's more options now. But what I like to recommend is absolutely attend your local state shows for sure. That's going to give you specific information to your market and what you need to do. And like you said, if you do require continuing ed, that a lot of times, like Florida's a great example, you can go there and get all your license credits at one show. So you got to go every 2 years to do this. But you can sit through 3 days worth of educational presentations and you're done. You don't have to do anything else, and you learn. And then your regional shows, what's nice is the next step up, right? Now you're starting to interact and find out more of what's going on in your regional area with other roofing contractors, and specifications as far as your manufacturers and what's being displayed. Even though they may be at the local shows too, you're going to then get up to that next level up. So that would be a great jump up. And then of course you've got your big national shows that again I recommend going to, because you're going to get a whole nother look at especially educational seminars that you're not going to maybe get at your local area. And then one last thing I want to jump in on, like you said, industry specific. Say you're a roofing contractor and you're thinking of getting into metal, and that's something, or you're just starting to dabble with it, then go to MetalCon. You can't do anything better than to go to a show that hits upon what you're thinking of doing to gather information, or solar or green roofing, whatever it is you may want to develop out on. What a great way to do it is to go to one of these shows and gather information and some education on it.
Exactly. And, I'm just realizing, looking at this slide, we don't have the big International Roofing Expo on here, IRE. We don't. So, really when you're looking at that state to regional, and like John said, national, in the roofing industry, that's going to be the International Roofing Expo, which is next February. It's the first week of February. And those are the shows, like Karen, I love what you said about kind of work your way up. And I think it's really important to also support your local shows. So like, I know I'm on the board of the Roofing Contractors Association of Washington, and the contractors who come to that, the educational classes, their local vendors, the manufacturers reps who are there, is just so powerful, and it's a great way to get started. So check your state and check your association, like Karen said. So let's talk a little bit about why to attend. We just kind of talked about that a little bit, but John, let's start with you, because you do some amazing educational classes. And like you said, one show can take care of all your state requirements. So kind of talk about the importance of the education at the shows.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, depending on the show, you're going to have multiple choices. So whatever you may want to find, you can look ahead of time in the before you go to a show, and they'll tell you what the education seminars. But the advantage to doing these is, I know as myself as a speaker, when I do these educational seminars, I want to make sure that you can take something home with you to start using in your business immediately. So, and I know a lot of other speakers do the exact same thing I do. It's to give you something. We're not there to promote ourselves, and most of the time you're not allowed to do that, which I think is great. So we're there to give you the education and maybe open a door to something you didn't know, or give you that aha moment. There's nothing better for me as a speaker than I look in the audience and I see people with that aha moment, right? That's what it's about. And then, you got time over the days to see many of them. You usually can get in 4 or 5 a day if you so choose. So you can really get into a variety of, operations, estimating, sales, marketing, HR, whatever it may be. There's usually presentations on that. So I think as a contractor, that is my opinion, and I'm not taking anything away from the next couple items we're talking about, but education, you will pay for all your costs of who you take to these by attending these seminars, and everything else is, as they say, icing on the cake.
Yeah, exactly. And Karen, networking is so powerful. We do so much of that when we're at the shows. So talk a little bit about the importance of networking and meeting other contractors who maybe aren't in your local area.
Right. So that's what, gets me excited about stepping up from the state to a regional show. Even at the state, you're going to meet folks who maybe aren't in your market. Your service area is only so big, and some of these states are pretty big. I mean, we're talking Texas, we're talking Florida. You could be in South Florida and network and meet somebody that serves the northern part of the state. And it's just a really great place to, share ideas, talk about best practices, talk about problems you may be solving. Hey, this happened to me. How did you handle it? And, just sharing those stories. It's those little nuggets, even being in the educational sessions, when there's back and forth and conversation happening between the people sitting in the class and the instructor. You'll pick up nuggets of information that are going to be so invaluable, and you make friends, right? John, we met through association involvement and being at the shows, and you build these networks that then give you people that you can pick up the phone and call if you have a question, or get together and have lunch and just check in with each other and see how things are going. It's really, really powerful.
Yeah. It's my favorite part. So John, I know you have the education is your favorite. Networking is one of my favorites, but I have to say too, on product information, I think it's so important to take the time to get out on the trade show floor. Sometimes, between the education and the events that are going on and stuff like that, people don't give the trade show floor the amount of time that they should, but it is so critical. We work at Roofers Coffee Shop. We work with manufacturers every single day who are planning launches, who are planning new product releases, who are having special events or special promotions in their booth. And so being able to really take that time, meet with your manufacturer. When you're looking at a show coming up like MetalCon and you want to get into metal, this is your chance to network with companies like ATAS, I see Leanne on there, and with other companies that will help you get into where you want to go. Also, if you've had problems through the year and you want to be able to talk to a technical person, to really have that one-on-one, not just on a Teams call or a phone call, this is a great place. Schedule those appointments ahead of time in the booth and say, I really want to talk to somebody. I really want to strategize how we can do this. The product information, the trade show floor, I just think is so important.
Heidi, I want to jump in and just say one thing that we're seeing more of are demos on the trade show floor.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an opportunity for education as well, because you might be thinking about buying a certain product and there are exhibitors that are, showing what they have to offer, but they're also doing demonstrations throughout the day. So it's really worth, planning to spend at least several hours walking around, and you can see the map of the trade show floor before you go. So you can plan your, you don't want to be running from this side of the hall to that side of the hall back and forth, kind of plan out your strategy of how to walk that floor.
Yeah. And really, Karen, to your point, most of the shows now have apps that you can download ahead of time and be able to use the app to schedule your meetings, to know where everybody is. In fact, I have to say, Roofers Coffee Shop is the proud sponsor of the Western Roofing Expos app. And so we really believe in that. I can tell you, Tim, who works every single show, lives and breathes the apps. Every show he uses those. So they're incredibly valuable. And excuse me. And when you were talking to about the demos on the show floor, I think that really leads us to who should attend, because that to me is really a lot of times just owners think that they should attend. But I don't think so. I think, some of the most powerful conversations we've had in the booth is when field crews or supervisors or project managers have come to the booth, watched the demos, and then went to get the owner of the company and brought them back. We've had that happen at Roofers Coffee Shop where they're like, you need to know about this. So, John, when you're looking at this, what are some of the reasons that everyone on this list should be attending?
Yeah, well, that's the nice thing going back to look at the different shows. There's regional, there's state. So a state show, you have zero excuse that you're not taking some of your field and your crews. And that does a couple of things. I know over the years, I've had a lot of contractors that were friends that said, I don't want to take my people there because they're going to get poached. That does not happen. It may have happened once in a million shot, but I could tell you 45 years, I've never seen anyone or know anyone personally that's had anyone poached from a convention or an expo. But they're going to get exposed to this technical advice to, the people that are above them. Somebody will say to them, hey, if you have a problem on a job, here's who you need to call in the tech department. That's gold for for your field and your crews. And then your job specific safety, HR, accounting. Again, state shows, no excuse. They should go there. There's plenty of stuff there. Now, I understand now we get up to the bigger shows where you got flying and maybe more hotels involved. yes, that's a little more, but don't just be the owner. Owner should go to as many as possible, but take some of your leadership. Maybe if you're, example, if you're looking for accounting software and it's at the national show, then take someone from accounting, your CFO or your head bookkeeper, so you can actually gain something from it there. And, your leadership and all those are going to gain a lot from the education and the networking. You'd be surprised how many people make friendships for life at these expos.
So true. So true. Karen, I mean, we couldn't even kind of put how many trade shows we've been at, but you've run some really big booths for Carlisle and Eagle View. How important is it for you and for those teams, those sales teams, to kind of have everybody have an opportunity to see these products?
Yeah, I think it's really important because people in your company have different ideas, different thoughts, different opinions, different ways that they may use a solution. And I can't think of a specific example, but you get that variety of people, and you're going to get different perspectives. And you may say, "Oh, wow, I didn't even know somebody was using my product like that." When you're in that big booth, and you're like, "That's really a great idea." Now, my salespeople can share that with other customers to say, "Hey, did you know that some people are doing this and it's really making a difference for them?" So I think it goes both ways. The attendees are there to learn and see what's new and to see the demos and hear about it. But the teams that are there in the booths, they're learning from the crews, from the leadership, from HR, accounting that are there. So it goes both ways.
Yeah. I think so too. And that's what I've seen. And I really, I'm going to do one plug on this too, is really look at the events that are available. So I'm going to National Women in Roofing Day, which is 2 days before the IRE in February. Super important to have, have your women attend, and men. It's both, right? But really the networking, the connections, the education, it will only grow your business by really looking at all of your employees and saying, "Oh, this would be great for you. This would be great for you." And especially on the local level, I'm with John. It's harder when you're flying, but it's also worthwhile. I've seen great things come out of it. So, okay. Speaking of which, so we've got all these people coming, and how are they going to make the most of that show? So Karen, let's start with you. Really, I mean, you and I talk about this a lot of times. There's people who will go to the shows and just kind of have fun, right? It's in Vegas. We're going to go do all these fun things. They don't have a plan. And then next thing you know, they've just really kind of missed everything. So what's your recommendations for people going?
One of the things that we feel strongly about is helping people make the most out of the event. And the International Roofing Expo started a first timers reception that happens right before their big welcome party. And Roofers Coffee Shop is a sponsor of that for the last few years. And we have our team there to talk to people. "Oh, this is your first time. What do you have planned? Or what classes are you going to?" And just to, what exhibitors do you want to see? Have you mapped out your day? Did you get the app? So we're trying to provide that guidance almost of, because especially the International Roofing Expo, it's the granddaddy of them all, right? It's a lot going on and a lot to see, and it's not always possible to see and do everything. So, helping them understand you're probably not going to be able to see and do everything, but what's important to you right now? What problems are you trying to solve in your business? So you want to make sure, okay, if you're having issues with, like John mentioned, accounting or other issues, did you know there's a technology pavilion here at the show? So you want to make sure that you stop by there. So just providing that, while we're there, but before you even go, like you said, Heidi, either through the app, or there's so much information available on the website before the show, to look at the classes, look at the show floor, read about the exhibitors. If you're not sure, what does this company do? Invest that time ahead of time, and then you're going to be that much better off for it once you're there.
Yeah. So true. And John, I mean, you've been making the most of shows for many years. What do you do when you're getting ready to go to a show?
Yeah. So what team you're taking to the show, you got to divide and conquer. And so, like you said, it's you want to have some fun, but you don't want, as an owner, there's nothing that's going to aggravate you more than taking a team of people to a show and no one does anything except whatever, hide, party. It's just not going to work out. Next time, no one's going to go. But also, as a team member, you want to get something out of it. So what I would do if I'm organizing it, if I'm the owner of the company or the responsible person, what classes, I want to know what classes everybody's taking. We're going to divide and conquer to make sure that we're getting what needs to be done. Have a report back at the end. You know, that's the duty of who goes there. What did you learn? Was it worth going? What didn't you get out of it? Show floor. That's a great place to divide and conquer, because it's impossible to cover a show floor quality wise to get everything you want out of it if you're a single person going up and down every aisle. So split it up again, come back and put the information. Now, I will give you a pro tip on the show floor from my contractor standpoint, and I know this still holds true from what I've seen. If you want to see somebody at a booth that is usually higher up in the company, day one is the day to do it. Usually day one is when and we always say the big wigs are there and they start to fold out and fly out after that. But if you want to go to a major manufacturer and see somebody higher up or meet somebody that you've talked to, that's usually the day to do it. And if you check ahead of time, they're going to tell you day one is when they're there. So I just wanted to throw that pro tip out. And the networking events, again, especially if you're a first timer, attend different ones, the dinners, whatever it may be that fits into you, a concert, whatever's at these things. And most importantly, if you can, especially the show floor or outside, a lot of them have the coffee shops now. The expo centers are beautiful now with places to sit and meet. Pre-schedule a meeting. Find out if someone's going to be there you want to talk to. Set a time aside. I do that right now. To still do that. Go set a time aside and have a meeting so that you can cover what you need cover. And then lastly, to wrap it up, when you all come back to your company, have a sit-down meeting and go through what the pluses, the minuses, what you learned, what you should have learned, or what you got out of it. Share it so the whole group gets the experience of what they may not have had a chance to go do.
Yeah, that is such perfect advice, John. That is, and I do want to say, we have started doing this because we have, as we grow Roofers Coffee Shop, we have a lot of new people who are new into roofing. And so MetalCon's a perfect example. We're going to be looking at the classes that are there. We're going to see if they have time, even though they're working the show floor. We're also going to see if they have time because MetalCon is very cool in the fact that it has all the classes on the show floor. Yeah. So you kind of can check these different things out that work really well. And then the other thing, to your point, John, we have started doing is a download at the end of every day. And Karen actually tapes them and writes an article from it, but it does download everybody and we can hear what they've done as they're going through there. And take care of the people you're taking. Don't leave them just to fly alone.
No. Everybody
should be working together, divide and conquer, but then coming back together.
Very good.
And part of that download is really kind of talking about what we need to do next. What are those nuggets, as John says? What are the nuggets that we're taking back? But there's also just some really good networking things. So, John, why don't you start us out on this, on the follow-up, what you recommend and what you've done?
So, like you said, there's thank you notes and emails. Give you an example. And I get this, and I try to encourage this at any educational seminar I'm speaking at. As a speaker now on that side of the fence, when I talk to these contractors, I tell them, you can reach out to me at any time during the year. It is not for a sales call. You know, of course, as a business owner, you always have to get business. But the point is, if you've got a question, a follow-up from the seminar, you're trying to enact something in your company, I'll answer your questions. And I know most speakers will, right? So that's important. And I mean, follow up that's on the speaker side. But follow up, if you are walking the trade show floor, I'm just going to use the example. Say it's your time for technology and you go to the technology booth. That's a great time you're going to get all this information from maybe 3 or 4 different sources of what you're looking at. Follow up afterwards. The information that you gain from these shows actually will not do any good unless you're following up on that. And you can say, hey, I met with you at your booth. I liked your new product coming out. I really didn't get a chance to understand or hear everything I wanted to. Can we now have a call? They're going to set that up with you. That's what you want to do. So now you've not only have that relationship building, you're going to be able to get more information easier. So I absolutely recommend follow up after the show is a huge important one.
Yeah. Karen, you've seen it so much. What do you recommend?
Same. Well, one thing that I really want, this is the pro tip. How many times do we ask somebody for a business card at our booth
Yeah.
and they go, "Oh, I don't have any." You can print 500 business cards for like $50 on Vistaprint, even if it just has your email, your name, and your phone number. So be sure to take those with you to the show. But yeah, definitely the follow-up. A lot of the people that you talk to hopefully have gotten your information, and within a couple weeks after the show, we'll reach out and send you an email. Open it, read it, see what's in there. A lot of these folks will have had special promotions at the show that they'll extend to you for having stopped by their booth, so you can take advantage of that. Ongoing education and training opportunities is important as well, because it's not possible to attend every single educational session when you're at a trade show. So there are opportunities throughout the year from the vendors, from the associations, and even from the show itself. I know IRE will record a lot of the sessions, and then you can purchase a DVD or audio to listen to that session. So there are a lot. Once you get home from that show, you're not done with the show.
Mhm.
It's really important to share what you've learned, follow up on those opportunities, and not just tuck it away and be in the same position a year from now when the show comes back around again. You want to take what you learned there and you want to help your business.
Yeah. And when it comes to being involved, I think really look at stopping by the association booth at the show and think about association membership if you're not already a member, because like Karen said, that's available year round. They're doing webinars, they're doing special online events for their members. And it also gives you a chance to continue those relationships that you built or the people who you've met. Maybe even look at being on the board of the association, getting involved with the committees. Those are the kind of things that can start at a trade show and then really grow and help you grow your business. So, and I'm going to use one example of Roofers Coffee Shop. Karen sends out an email at the end of every show. We offer discounts on free classified ads, discounts on our club that are special to those shows. So that kind of follow-up is allows you to, get great things for your business. I do want to say one last thing before we kind of start wrapping this up, and we can all kind of with our last thoughts, is when you're planning that show too, look for the fun things. So I'm going to, again, Roofers Coffee Shop. We always have fun things in our booth. Often we have a sound stage where people can get interviewed. If you're one of our club members, we will interview you. So really think through how you want to learn, but also network, connect, and have some fun. Because there's a lot of cool things that are happening there. Karen, what's some of your last thoughts?
Definitely network and have fun, because they're long days and it's a lot of work, and you're taking in a lot of information. So, a lot of the exhibitors or manufacturers, they might have a hospitality in the evening where you can go and have a cocktail and some hors d'oeuvres and kind of wind down and make those, connections with people. That it's about that too. And like you mentioned, take care of your people. If you've got folks at the show with you, make sure that you're bringing them along. And there's just a lot of opportunities. And trade shows are just invaluable because you're getting everything in one place as you need it. So I love them.
Me too. John, last thoughts?
Yeah, I think they're worth everything that you're going to invest to go, and especially investing and bringing your team, and even just to tie that up with the bigger shows. And we talked about flights. You don't have to take your entire team to every IRE if that's not within your budget, right? You can do that every other year where you take everybody and you hit the shows. But the point is, and rotate people around your company, get as much exposure to what's going on in the industry as you can, and you're going to get a lot better internal team buildup from it, because they're going to feel a part of something that is greater than that little small world we all work in every day, which is whatever our company is. And you don't get wrapped up in that. This is a big chance to get out there and see. And again, I've always said roofing is the largest small community that there ever is. I made friends back in the late 70s in this business, and I still have those friends today and gained that many more up. So, you know, when you need an expert advice from a friend, you got somebody to reach out to and you got someone to talk to. So absolutely attend. It's worth every penny.
It's so true. It's so true. And there are so many local shows, great places to start. I'm going to call out Southern California. They have a great local show. So easy ways to get started with your team. Okay. So we want to, as always, end this awesome discussion on trade shows. Thank you, John and Karen. What a fun topic. And we're going into so many trade shows this fall, so it's very timely. But through our affinity program between Roofers Coffee Shop and Cotney Consulting, we have some deals. So we have some great opportunities for all of you to really get involved on all levels. So John, let's start with you. What do you offer our club members, and how can they, take advantage of all of this?
Right. So I love working with the art club members. It's a great, great group. So one of the things we do is like 15% off straight off of anything as far as a service or that I offer. So that's standard. That's an easy one, right? 15% off. Take advantage of the next three. There's no obligation. I will do a free financial risk, operational risk, and software technology analysis. So you're saying, where is my expertise in technology? I sit on the RT3 board and we get to hear all this. So it's there. It doesn't cost you anything. And I'm going to give you, again, you're going to take some pro tips with you to enact. Whether you come back or not, you're going to get something out of it. Take advantage of it. These quarterly webinars that I've been doing with the art club, I love doing them, and we're getting a great response back. That's part of your art club membership. You can't beat it. And we've covered everything from estimating to superintendent training to project management, service, form, you name it, crew leader, it's there. And we got a whole new year coming out next year, which is going to be a lot on business operations. And lastly, the newest thing we got coming out is going to be this peer forum. I cannot stress enough how much fun this is going to be. And it's going to be different than a lot of these, peer groups that are out there. This is going to be available to different formats of your company. We're going to really take a lot of input, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it. And this is all for becoming a member of the art club.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say is, you go to these shows, go to the Roofers Coffee Shop booth and sign up. There is so much more you're going to get out of this. So I can't stress that enough.
I love it, John. We love our partnership with you so much. You bring such great things. And we, on the same thing for any of your Cotney clients, anybody who's listening to this who is a customer working with John or is buying from the online store, however that is, we're giving a 15% discount on the R Club. So that includes a full directory. You get to be on our website, Ask a Roofer, on the map so that homeowners and building owners can find you. Karen and I will do a 30-minute marketing consultation with our marketing books. We actually have 3 marketing books, so we're more than happy to share those with you. And then you also have discounts on classified ads, great networking with our coffee breaks. And of course, John is talking about peer forum. He's doing peer forums quarterly for operations. And Karen and I are going to be doing quarterly peer forums on marketing. So bringing all your marketing folks together, we're very excited about that. So all you have to do, this is all on Roofers Coffee Shop, of course, but you can reach out to any of the 3 of us to get started. And that information is right here. So Karen, did we miss anything?
You did. A portion of the R Club membership gets donated to charity. So
yeah,
it's a win-win.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And such great things. Well, Karen and John, again, another great affinity. Thank you so much for your wisdom. And I want to thank everybody who is watching this now and also will be watching this in the future on demand, because it will be available on Roofers Coffee Shop, Metal Coffee Shop, and Coatings Coffee Shop, along with on John's website and social media. So And YouTube. I think I got them all.
Pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much anywhere. So thank you all for being with us today. Thank you, John and Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all next quarter for our Affinity webinar with Cotney Consulting and Roofers Coffee Shop. See you then.